So, Ulises, you're a coach, correct?
That's right.
Chris, you a coach?
Formerly known
As a real estate coach?
an artist formerly known as, yes, sir.
All right. So, you guys are both coaches. Do you guys have coaching?
Absolutely.
Why do you have a coach, Ulises, if you are a coach?
You always need to be a student of the game. It's important that you don't stay stagnant, because when you're not growing, you're actually dying. And I want to get to the next level.
So, how long you been in real estate?
18 and a half years.
18 and a half years. Man, that's like a full-on life right there.
Yeah.
It is, and I started at 26, and the funny thing about it is that I always told myself, I'm going to give this real estate thing a try. Well,
All right,
now,
Ulises, I'm not going to cut you off, but here, let's go to the question.
let's do this.
So, after 18 years, after how much time did you go into real estate until you said, okay, this is when I'm going to get a coach? How long had you been in real estate in the industry when you got your first coach?
I want to say 9.5 years.
So you went 9.5 years solo,
Trying to
with
figure it
no
out on my
coach,
own.
no mentor. And what was going on when you decided to say, hey, I'm going to go get a coach?
Well, my business quadrupled, and the amount of hours that I was putting in reduced, and the level of stress.
Yeah.
When I
Once you
started
got the
delegating.
coach or before you
No,
got the coach?
when I got the coach,
No, but what was going on in your head in 9 years? Were you struggling?
No, I
What was
was not.
happening that you said, hey, I need to go get a coach?
well, because I started hanging out with other people. I started going to masterminds. I started getting involved in RIP. I started hearing the Carlos and the Chris's of the world, and they were like, dude, I have a coach, or I'm going to go fly because I'm going to go at a mastermind where it's going to cost me $10,000, but those people are doing 400 deals a year. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
So you were trying to level up what you were
Absolutely.
already doing. But were you already doing good?
I was doing 35 to 40 deals a year by myself, without broker support, without an assistant, without REO accounts.
So could you have lived off of 35, 40 deals a year?
Yeah.
I mean, equivalent, if you were to put a dollar sign to it, that was what, 350 to 500,000 a year?
400,000, easy. 350,
So
450.
you decided, hey, I want to do more.
Correct.
And the only way to do more was by getting a coach?
Correct. Because again, they expanded my mind. They literally pushed me to get out of the comfort zone and start thinking differently. And when I realized that, I was like, I've been playing small for 9 years.
Yeah.
Even though the numbers were respectable, if you want to say that, but I knew that there was people that were doing 300-400 units. Yeah, I was doing 35 to 40, but it ain't 400. And I said, well, I want to be sitting at that table.
How do I do that?
How do I do that? Well, you got to get a coach. You got to invest in yourself, self-development. You got to read. You got to listen to podcasts. You got to go to conferences. And I just dove in, man. Absolutely.
Now, Chris, for you, what's one of the biggest takeaways you got from a coach that really adjusted your mindset?
I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to go against the grain. The lack of good coaches made me realize what a good coach needed to be. Because I think, my opinion is, there are more shit people calling themselves coaches. There's not shit coaches, there's shit people calling themselves coaches. But by listening and watching them try to perform and lift another agent up, or hold them accountable, or give them a list of activities to do, to me it was garbage. But by watching what they weren't doing, it allowed me to realize what needed to be done, the conversations that needed to happen,
Correct.
the questions that needed to be answered, and I also understood how that affected my own development, and it allowed me to go back to being, wait a minute, I can't help anybody unless I'm making sure that I know what I need in my own business, because it's just like a relationship. You can't be good for somebody else unless you're good for yourself.
Amen.
And so that's what my biggest takeaway from coaching, or looking at coaches, is 95% of them are full of shit, and it's really difficult to find a real good one that can deliver.